Ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Skersbrook, also known as the Intrepid Wino, and I have another edition of Let's Taste for you today. I've been sent some samples by, again, the lovely Tash at Darrenberg Wines in the McLaren Vale. I can't believe how many different wines they actually produce. I struggle to keep up. But I've got three 2013 vintage red wines, each from a different grape variety, all recommended retail price of $18. They might come as fairly familiar names to you if you have been a fan of Darrenberg in the past. So we are looking at the Custodian, the Footbolt, and the High Trellis. So let's start off with the Custodian, which is a Grenache. Fresh red berries, some blueberries in there as well. Very, very delicate, sort of sweet spice note. Nice and vibrant. Red flowers. Very inviting. Let's taste. Nice tightness on the front. It's very crunchy. It's got a bit of bite to it. Fairly light. Possibly lacking a little bit of flesh in terms of the fruits. It doesn't have a lot of carry through either, but very clean wine. Very, very clean example of Grenache. Let's move on. The Football is Shiraz. Again, one of the great things about Darrenberg wines is their wonderful names. You can possibly see straight off the bat, much darker than the Grenache, almost black in colour. Possibly very classic McLaren Vale characteristic, that darkness of colour. But a bit more brooding, much darker fruits. We're moving into plums. We're moving into black currant. Deeper sort of red earth notes as well. Let's taste. Warmer, a little bit more alcohol. Still fresh. A bit more on the mid palate. Darker fruits, as consistent with the aromatics. Also sort of in that black cherry kind of realm as well. Again, very clean example, a little bit more alcohol there. I think, again, very, very classic, very excellent value style of McLaren Vale Shiraz. Finally, the High Trellis is Cabernet Sauvignon. Similar to the darkness of colour and intensity as well. Quite leafy, a little bit mentholy, which is very interesting for McLaren Vale Cabernet. You typically don't see, you would expect it being a warmer climate than say Coonawarra or Margaret River, or indeed the Yarra Valley. You probably would expect to see a lot more sort of juicy, dark fruits rather than that sort of leafiness, which is interesting. You have that, very classic kind of cassis, blackberries kind of notes of Cabernet as well. Let's taste. This has a little bit more focus, a little more drive. I like the way it carries through on the palate. It's not especially broad. It does kind of travel right, like on rails, right down the palate, which is very, very good for a Cabernet of this kind of price point. The fruits are very distinct. The tannins are gentle, but they're not sloppy. There's also kind of a nice kind of velvetiness to it, whilst still maintaining a freshness. It's not kind of goopy and juby either. It's also not being hidden by oak either. I think probably out of the three, the high trellis is the big winner for me, which possibly might cause some controversy, considering not only the custodian of the football favourites of Darren Berg wines, but also Shiraz and Grenache are considered to be the much more champion varieties in the McLaren Vale. But the high trellis is the winner for me, I think, at $18. You are not going to be disappointed with that. Probably the football and the custodian are still very good examples, but I think possibly in this vintage they didn't quite shine through enough for me. But thank you very much, guys, for watching this brief tasting video. I'll be tasting a few more Darren Berg wines in the next few weeks or so keep an eye out for those. If you did like this video, please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Intrepid Wino YouTube channel, and why not leave some comments on some videos. And always visit me at intrepidwino.com, where you can find not only lots of different videos, but also every episode of my podcast, the Vincast, and also lots of different writings I've done in the past. But until next time, cheers.